I want you to, more than perform, to be like, I'm doing it, like enjoy what you've written, because Liz, what you've written is beautiful, and like even like
that's what I took
more than like the thank you, and more than it even being about my work, it is also beautiful because like it's written so well, like it's a response to work, but it that in itself is its own art. So like enjoy it. Thanks. Take your time, and
I'm glad you felt that way, because I didn't want to create too many inferences.
It's one of the
then
most.
You were like, "That's not what it's about, Queen."
But I can hear the consideration of that within it.
Okay.
Like it's not. A lot of the time, music is written about now, or my music. I'll just talk about my music, how it's been written about. As much as I love and appreciate anyone who gives me the time of day to review my music, it's a very certain type of way. It's a lot of men writing. It's a lot of this is what it is, and it reminds me of this, and that's cool. But this just feels considerate, because it doesn't feel like you're telling me what it is.
Well, obviously it's so you, but I don't know, like people can stray away from that. And I do feel like it's very authentic to yourself in a way that, like, I don't know, the things that you explore, I'm like, yeah, that's so you. Like, it just is.
I love that.
But that's what I think anyway. But
I'm here for that. Okay, are we rolling? So I'm going to do a big, like, gesture to be like, I'm rolling. And then that way I can sync the audio. So I can go there. I can just do that. Yeah. Okay. Hello, Liz.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. That's what I want to say, really. Let's go.
My pleasure.
I love this.
My pleasure.
Bro, we can do just that for the interview, just being like, no, my pleasure.
No, my pleasure.
No, like, my.
3 hours later.
But
3
mine,
hours later. I'm my pleasure.
Two were like fighting. Like, it's like,
we're fighting on the camera.
Shout out Lily, legend, GOAT, we love you. Thank you for helping set up all these shots, helping me film, being my right hand man, being a tank. Coolest on earth. Let's go.
The coolest on earth. Okay, so a conversation with LINTD, exploring Dogtooth and other tales of the macabre.
Yeah.
And then I was also going to get into like your new music as well, so like Mr. Freeze with the feature film, exploring that. Also the other new song on your new album, Metal, correct?
Amen.
And then No Dogs, No Black, No Irish.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
So the haunting work of LINTD can be consumed as a contemporary sonic archive of survival, one that confronts the quiet horrors embedded in modern life with urgency. Rather than relying on spectacle or overt narrative violence, LINTD's music explores the subtler and more insidious forces that shape lived experience through nihilism, emotional desensitization, objectification, and spiritual erosion, particularly within urban spaces such as Manchester.
Yep.
Using horror to illuminate the everyday realities of prejudice, LINTD employs sound, repetition, and visceral lyricism to articulate a world in which trauma is normalized, intimacy is transactional, and survival often requires emotional fragmentation. By positioning the listener within states of discomfort, saturation, and emotional overload, LINTD creates an immersive experience that parallels the effective strategies of horror cinema and the Gothic. The listener is not merely observing the distress, but inhabiting it. And in doing so, LINTD's work becomes a site of confrontation, forcing recognition of the ways modern life continues to reproduce harm, while simultaneously offering moments of clarity, warmth, and collective care through friendship and community. And my favourite part, that this duality of horror entwined with tenderness forms the foundation of your artistic practice that situates your music as a vital cultural response to contemporary realities. And that's immediately what I took from that.
Why is that your favourite part?
Because I just think it's so authentic and so real, and I think it perfectly does explore the realities of modern day horror that alongside a lot of that comes a lot of beauty and tenderness that you do kind of have to explore to, well, endure those situations, which we can get onto.
Are you a fan of horror movies?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I really am.
What's your favorite one? Just one.
I mean, I don't know.
Or give
if
me like
it's-
the immediate answer.
I don't know if it's like explicit horror. Maybe
Yeah.
it's considered more thriller. But I am a big like Jordan Peele bitch.
Yeah.
Like, well, obviously Get Out, but personally I do really love Us.
Yeah.
Just like the things that it explores and some of the choreography
Yeah.
that they perform in that, I think
100%.
is so like cold and like creepy and very uncanny.
Incredible.
How about yourself?
So that movie is an interesting one in the Jordan Peele. I love every Jordan Peele movie, but deeply feel their imperfections and like their incoherence, and they're like that was just kind of nasty. But it's like it's horror in like the big capital letter H way, where it's like it feels like he's making movies from the 70s. Like they're problematic and like sometimes say awful things. You know, like, oh, that's the lesson we're learning, and it's like, but it's also so because of that like alive. And I respect him a lot for that. I love Us, but Nope is my favorite of his films.
Really?
Yeah, Nope is I love his movie. You know, me and Lily have Nope arguments any day, all day.
Tell me.
That movie splits the room. The movie splits the room.
Oh, no, it fucking everyone loves it, but me. I'm the only
You don't
one.
No,
love
and not
it.
everyone does not love it.
I don't
Half
mind
people.
All
it.
of our boys loved it.
All of our boys love it. Me and Nikki love it because it's insane. And like, but that movie made me gasp out loud.
It's just that sorry, I
Tell
was
me,
enjoying
tell
the
me.
movie, and then I seen floating vagina, and actually I wasn't loving it, but
The floating,
yeah, I just couldn't get over
the floating
floating
vagina in the sky almost made me cry. Two types of people. I looked at the floating vagina. I was like, wow.
Wait,
like I went
is
like,
it explicitly that?
No.
Oh right, but I thought that too.
yeah, it's
is.
defo phallic. Not phallic. What's the opposite of phallic?
Girl,
Vaginal.
Vaginal? Is that that can't be the opposite of phallic? That's crazy.
your work holds a lot of cold, yet a lot of warmth. And how do you protect this warmth once your music's released into the world? Is there a part of making music that feels like preserving heat or holding something against the winter? And how does that feel once you've released your music?
My my initial answer to this was that for every song I like feel pleasure within the thing, and then that like tells me when it's ready, like when it's ready to like
Yeah,
be mobilized and like move into the world, and when it looks like something I didn't imagine, and that makes me like, it thrills me again from just the idea. But now I also want to add that it's cold in the UK. It's very freezing, and I actually didn't even address the cold point in this question the first time I answered this, talking to you, which
Yeah, get on the hot water bottle.
it's no, but I feel the warmth of 1,000 suns right now. But I'm saying in the UK in general,
True. Yeah. It's a cold time.
it's a cold time, and it's very like. My music, it's cold in essence as well, in like a, anyway, the world, I think reflective of that also is, and so there's a fire that burns within me that is very much fueled by music, by the idea, by the making of music, by the making of arts, by the making of films, by the collaboration with Lily, like these things of like artistic expression within like my friends and like the people I love, and then within myself is like, it keeps me alive. And so that's, I kind of try and honor that in some way. It's like, I guess, God like honoring that, like that puts me in a warm place regardless of whatever texture of like cold I'm putting around me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. And you were saying before, like you touched on the fact that like when you know something's done, you
Yeah.
kind of feel that sense of accomplishment and kind of like a conclusion.
Yep.
And I was asking you, like, how do you pinpoint that? Because I feel like when embarking into creative work, it's very easy to like work into something forever,
Yeah.
especially if you have a bit of a perfectionist
Yep.
vibe. It
Yeah.
can be very like, okay, this is done now. So how do you summarize like a song or a project? Do you know when it's done?
Yeah.
Or
I feel when it's done because it is more than what I imagined, or completely different from what I imagined in a way that is like true to the song, and like it's like it's correct. And I just kind of honor that, and like whatever that looks like is what the thing is that I'm making.
okay.
Yeah, and a technical process. I also said to you earlier, practice. I've been practicing my whole life, just making music, good music, bad music, like cringy teenage music. Like I was just always writing, even though I only started releasing recently. Like, but I've been making forever, and performing forever, and like rapping forever, and singing forever, and like composing and putting chords and listening forever. So I just like I know what like when it's done. Yeah.
I feel like that's really difficult thing, like a difficult skill to establish. I think personally for me, but
Why?
because I feel like if I ever write something, I feel like I could work into it forever, and it's really difficult to find like a finalizing point. Like I don't have an editor, I don't have someone to provide me with a green light that this is perfect, this is done now, or this is like specifically correct.
Yeah.
So I think it's very vulnerable to just put something out there, especially if you are like producing it like by yourself,
Yeah.
or like with your friends and your team
100%.
that you've created. I feel like that can be really difficult.
And it can be. I've seen it like be a big challenge for a lot of people. Some of it is trust. Like it's not all myself, you know. Shout out Pete, shout out Lily right now ክላይምing architecture to get this camera shot correct, and you right now in this moment, and just people around me, Kinaya, Zoya, Sam. It's trusting each other's, like all of us together. Truly, I've been doing this for years. But then more than that, doing it for years and failing, like being like, it's like it doesn't look exactly like I wanted or whatever, or doesn't sound exactly what I wanted. But then also within that being like, cool, I'll go again. Like it doesn't. It's not really for me like it's perfect. It's just honest. It's honest to where we are and what we are and like what we can do. And we always go. And we're always going. And it's like nice and thrilling. And once it's there, once it's like honest to like we did it, like we tried and we made something really cool, then it's done. And I think that's it. Like it's not. You don't have to be. I empathize with the not having an editor. Writing is a different beast, to be fair, but it is a similar kind of like, just from what you've written today, man. Like I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you can just like you can go and try and be.
Yeah, I
and
think
then
that's
see.
an important thing, that like when you're creating something, it's never going to be a perfect outcome,
Yep.
especially a part of the process.
Yep.
And I feel like you definitely like explore that in your sound. Not that it's not perfect, but the fact that it's just something that you have to like work on and just get out there and just be like honest with.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it so special.
Thank you.
Which is why, again, what we discussed, but like I'll go into it again.
Please.
That the reason why Dogtooth, specifically the album, is really special to me and why it resonates so much is because I feel like the sound's so unique, which I do feel like there is a few other artists in Manchester that are very unique right now and that I do really appreciate, but like being exposed to a lot of music a lot of the time, it can just be the same old thing.
Yeah.
And especially in regards to like Gen Z and like trending sort of culture,
Yeah.
how did you derive something so interesting and genre defying, and what did you say before about how you had confidence in that, or tried to establish confidence in just putting that out there?
Thank you. I want to thank you again for calling my stuff genre defying, because I feel that way before I put it out. If I put out anything, I'm like, this has to be something new. And
Something new.
pun intended, this has to be something new. And It's special to me that someone that's like people are receiving it that way. It really means a lot.
I think so.
It's to me my biggest compliment because it's the honesty of like my process in music, which is like to be true to whatever I'm saying. Like my artistic process is to be true to whatever I'm saying. So that looks like whatever it looks like, as opposed to a structure or recommended or even like popular like genre thing. It just has to feel correct. And so I'm just honest to that. And I'm confident about it because I think it's a beautiful thing to do. Yeah. I think it's cool. I think it's the honesty of art.
I feel like in that regard, if I was to edit my own work, it'd be like, okay, how can you actually, it's good to like show and not tell, but I do think at the same time you've got to create some sort of underlying narrative that someone can relate to or that means something to potentially people beyond yourself. And I think sometimes in the creative process it can be really difficult to establish that whilst also keeping true to my own piece of work
100%.
and to maintaining the traits and personality that I originally wrote, but adapting it and evolving it to something that is relatable and is explorable with other people. Was that ever something that maybe you, like, how did you deal with that?
I mean, I'm spiritual in real life, but the idea of God comes into my music with what you're describing, of like this universality in a sense. But to me, it's a humility to know that to go into the details of who I am and love it. Like, I think some of what makes, thank you, the creative process can be incredibly narcissistic, even when on its best days. Even like, this is an interview I have orchestrated about me. It's a creative process, but it's fun. And I think it's also the courage within that, the difference that makes it completely narcissistic and like still serving a greater purpose, I think, is being honest to the ugly of it as well as the beauty, and true to it. In fact, seeing all of it as beautiful, like going into the weeds of it and like glancing too close and glancing from far, and just curiosity. I think that's what makes it universal if it's done right, and I think that's the only difference.
That's so sweet. This is a major tangent, but just in regards to some of the things that we've spoken about in regards to like Dogtooth and the idea of sort of like transformation and evolving, and then just picking up on your idea of curiosity and just my personal love of like Alice in Wonderland. I feel like that's just such a major theme within that text of one, transformation and also curiosity. Wow, like, what does that mean to you in general?
I love being compared to Alice in Wonderland. That's amazing.
Well, it's a big thing for me.
I love Alice in Wonderland.
It really set the bar for all like children's fictional texts and like sort of the uncanny and like gothic texts that can follow.
100%. 100%. It's important because it's at the risk of sound like a broken record, it's true, it's honest, and I think it's cool. I think it's cool to promote growth and like change and like transformation. I think definitely. Stagnation is death, low-key.
Real. Easier said than done.
True. And that's why we need encouragement. Like, again, I don't know. I'm not the one to argue for some sort of pragmatic use to music for like society, because it's silly. It's cooing and cawing and like whispering in each other, and it's great, and it's an indulgence, and I love that we do it, and I love that we're human to be able to do it, because that's what being a human being is, like wasting. But if you're going to do it, if there's going to be any kind of like pragmatic motive to it, it's to encourage people to be and grow and change and fall and be silly and you know, and be themselves. So yeah, hell yeah. And so does Alice in Wonderland. Love that book. It's great.
Yeah, it's cute. Yeah. I mean, in regards to being yourself as well, again, we slightly touched on it before, but just as a fun one, I was saying top 3 tracks right now.
Ooh, Cash Cobain,
Yes.
Tripping on a Yacht is what I said
Yes.
before. I'm gonna
Yes.
change this Our Baby song I said before.
Okay.
Because
I still want to
actually,
listen to it.
we should
though,
listen to both
after.
of them. They're on the same album. It's so hard to choose this A Baby song. That's my one. But
Yeah.
at this moment, it's probably Kodak by Baby. You know how much I love that. Lily's nodding. Kodak by Baby. That song is sometimes whenever I can't play that song one time. If I play it, I'm playing it like 4 or 5. Like it's impossible for me.
Okay. I love a repeater. I love a repeater.
Hell yeah! And if I'm adding my music, I listen to well, at the moment, Life Can Be Agony. Life Can Be Agony is a beautiful song.
Wait,
But
by...
I want to add the third one that's not mine, and we can talk about mine because that's why we're here. But
Okay.
a third one that's not mine, I've been really enjoying. I've been really enjoying the track Mikalevi made for the beginning of the movie. Zone of Interest.
Oh, okay.
The intro to Zone of Interest is one of my favorite songs I'm listening to right now.
Play me after.
I will. I'll play you all these 3 songs. Please continue. But from my own music, Life Can Be Agony. That's number
Good
1,
choice.
if I'm honest.
Good
Yeah.
choice. I mean, it sounds good anyway.
Yeah, I'll play it for you as well.
So we will get into more specifically in music, but just another broader topic that we can potentially put if necessary.
Let's go.
But I just wanted to touch on the fact that obviously it seems that creative output is very important to you, and I wanted to touch on the topic of like arts engagement in the UK and more specifically in like UK like the British education system right now, because there's been a great decline in the percentage of time that children are advocated to spend on art throughout the week and through any creative output. So in regards to art engagement, I wrote that a society in which the arts are healthy is one in which people from all communities and all backgrounds engage with what's on offer to participate in the arts. And then with arts education, I guess a stamp would be a society in which the arts are healthy, is one in which high quality arts education is valued and available to all, fostering creativity and developing the artists and artists of the future, because it's especially more in state schools now, it's not something that's provided with a lot of attention. So just in regards to your creative career, I just wanted to see what that meant to you, because it's something that I've been doing a lot of research on at the moment and feel very strongly about. It's very difficult, especially in regards to the Ofsted system, and there's a lot of like education trade unions that are advocating for greater time spent exploring the arts. However, then it's like a controversial kind of contradicting thing, where then it's like, okay, we want more extracurricular activities to be created, but then that's very difficult on teachers who are almost being underpaid anyways, and then they're asking for extracurricular activities that they're hardly getting paid for the work that they do as of now. So it's quite a controversial thing at the moment that I feel really strongly about. So I just wanted to speak to you about that and what you think.
I would love to hear what you've been researching. I feel like I've got a snap. I can really imagine. I feel like there's been a warfare against the like human spirit that the last 10 years of governing really across Europe, but in the UK has like enacted. I think both of us have interacted with education in different ways and in different times, and being educators, being educated. And like I'm a little bit older than you, and it's like it's not new. It's been this like a steady decline, and we've probably interacted with it in the fact that we have been like, because at our positions we're in our 20s, we've been people plugging it up in different places, and we've been interacting with kids that have been their creativity has been outsourced to you somehow, or their human spirit, and whether they're okay or just like are they like, just if you're a TA, it's just like a lot of untrained TAs working with like SEN kids and like even kids that don't have SEN issues but are just like, you know, children who need more, and they're just like underpaid and just like plug them into different places. It's a very underfunded
practice, and also the fact that like a lot of classrooms now, you're looking at a population of like 30, 33, 35 plus.
Yep.
Whereas like ideally, if it was a little bit lower, which I know may not be realistically attainable for probably a lot of reasons, but if that was the case, it might be more beneficial to provide children with that attention that they need, especially like SEN.
100%. 100%. And it's also that, you know, the post-Brexit kind of exit of a lot of minority immigrants, workers, and the ability to just come and do like the jobs that they were doing and like casually doing, and the immigrants that are there are like treated so poorly. Makes us consider moving to Australia, for God's sakes, of all places.
I'm not an Australia girl.
No, I could never be me. But that's what I'm saying. Like, they're causing a max exodus of all the great, including myself, immigrant talent in this place to other places that will take us. Yeah, I don't know. It's a combination of a lot of things. I do think it's very sad. I try and help when I do work in those positions where I can, or when I'm in that position to talk to a kid and like energize one. I love education and I love being within it to try and catalyze that, and I've been privileged to be able to do that in different places. So we'll see. Yeah. It's us against them. The human spirit against like the people making loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of money off of our suffering. It's us against them. Let's go. I believe in us. I think we're gonna win. Vote. I don't know, not vote. I don't know. Do something. Do both. Do something and vote.
Something.
Yeah.
So just getting a little bit more specifically onto your music and yourself. One thing that I wrote was when I was listening to like Dogtooth as an album, and specifically that track as an introduction, I wrote that it feels kind of physically overwhelming and disorienting in the most positive way. That it made me cry.
Wow.
And I just explored the idea of like, what am I grieving while listening to it personally, and that made me think like, what were you grieving? How does this abundance of tenderness that leaks through my headphones convey such a feeling of hope? And how intentional was that like bodily reaction that you create in the listener when you created it? Was that intentional at all, or was that just something that you're hearing now as like feedback or as a compliment and enjoying?
I pray for that. It like I literally pray to God that it does that, because it feels that to me before I release it.
It
like,
does.
I'm not crying. Well, that's amazing and beautiful, and thank God, because all I can do is do my best, and I do my best. You know, I'm not, you know, but like I feel deeply before I make anything I make, and then I pray. Other people are like, yeah, and that's the whole game. Like, but it's, yeah, thank you. I was grieving a different version of myself that existed in a different context that couldn't exist anymore. I was becoming more me, and that's the hope. But I was grieving someone who was a bit more I was feeling the sadness of things that were happening more, as opposed to just taking it on the chin. And I made Dogtooth after Lily was in their accident in India, and I had like just quite a few changes in my life, some of them quite violent and weird, and like people I could persons that I could trust before I couldn't trust anymore, in like quite a dangerous way. Truly became quite like vulnerable to like harm because of someone I like really messed with at some point in my life. And then Lily comes back from an accident in India where she's had an accident and the person just left her for like dead. and she comes like lives with me and my brother. And it's like, of course, we're still doing ourselves and we're laughing and we're like, ha ha ha. But I think we were, for the first time, becoming the least ha 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 ever in our lives and being like, actually, like, this sucks and like really hurts. Like, I think we just, I don't know, man. Context wise, like, I grew up in Nigeria and like everybody grows up differently, whatever, but like you take things on the chin, like that's the whole kind of swag, especially if you're a dude. And I'm the firstborn as well. And you have your reasons. I'm talking to Lily behind the camera, why you, just from being a money. And so it was just like, you know, you just keep it stepping, but like it became to a point where it was like, oh, this like hurts, like this is.
It's actually physically impossible to keep it stepping.
Literally. For you couldn't even walk, literally. And I was just there, like, so I was grieving just like a version of myself that was a bit more cold, but then because of that, really less effective, truly. Really deep masculinity, like, and I'm still in it, I'm working on it, but I'm much more like honest and free. Like Doctor was like an act of freedom, but there's a grief there because there's tiredness and sadness and pain, like, but then also being like, whatever, keep it stepping.
Yeah, I wrote, did you experience that song as more of a memory, a confession, or perhaps a purge?
All three, Liz.
All three,
what? How did you pick out all three? Liz is the one, bro. You're so good at this. You're so good at this. It's the facts. I hope I haven't spiked this mic, but yeah, it's fine. You're so good at this. I agree. All three. It was a purge. It was a confession.
To it and analysing it so much.
Thank you.
Zoom, 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 zoom.
He just finished the track, and I literally, there's videos of me falling asleep. This late night session at like 3 a.m. It was after Carnival.
That's so real.
But it was phenomenal. So it took like a year. But during that period, the reason I'm saying that is I was at different phases in my life at each time. So that was just me moving through Dog 2. So some of it was the initial just like paranoia. And kind of me enjoying it. That's where it starts, you know, and the Begging Man for Cocky line starts off quite fun. Like in the earliest versions, which you've heard, it's just me like rapping, being like, Begging Man for Cocky. But then as we, you know, we progressed, it became more sinister and more, but you can hear all of it throughout.
You can hear that throughout. I really appreciate that. I really do. I think it's, I think it's something that I probably delved into later on, but like the fact that it's almost like hinges on like a silly, like not necessarily comedic level, but it's still something kind of meaningful, and I feel like that's quite nice. It makes it digestible.
Amen.
And interesting and like modern, I feel.
Thank you.
And I wrote down that you repeat phrases like easy peasy, no need to rush, almost like mantras, warnings, or self-soothing mechanisms.
Man, both. Kanaya says I'm stimming.
You are zoom, 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 zoom.
No, Lily says I'm stimming as well. Whatever I have is, I self-soothe for sure. I think
real.
I can't imagine a human that doesn't.
No.
But I guess probably maybe that's because I'm one of the humans that do. I can't imagine being a human
like
that doesn't.
everyone does.
Right?
I can't imagine what you'll have to give me when I quit smoking. Like, my smoking stim is so strong. I'm like, any sign of uncomfortableness or awkwardness, I'm like...
Bring it back. That was amazing. Our audience, I wish you could see her just illustrate that in real time. That was great.
That's so cute.
I love you, Leos. That's awesome. But I am repeating them to like. There's like a whatever. Keep it stepping in them. It brings me back. Like I'm like cool. Let me go. It's also fun because it's like a little hook.
It is a good hook.
I agree. Let's go.
So something that I wanted to talk about was being the little emo that I am relentlessly familiar with sadness. That still in the recent past I've experienced an unfamiliar sadness that felt like confronting an isolation I've never had to meet before. One that I discovered I was too inexperienced to combat alone. And as usual, music acted as company, but it wasn't really enough. This made something very clear to me, that in the depth of anger, confusion, or despair that you feel, it often coexists in proportion to how much love you're capable of feeling as well. I feel like that's kind of something that we kind of just explored a little bit there, and how people kind of come out of the woodwork, as my mum says. So through those bleak moments that seem to illuminate the people who are willing to show up for you, and to dance with you and be silly with you and lift you and give you love without obligation, the real friends who don't owe you anything but choose to and want to give you everything. I feel like this entire idea is expressed through yourself and through your music and through all of these things that we've explored. Kind of leaning on friends as family and comfort seems to be really important. So within your music and your friends and chosen family, this presence feels intentional. In those periods that you were writing from, what role did those people play in keeping you alive, not only physically but emotionally and spiritually too? And how do you see that love shaping the sound and clarity that comes through your work? Ultimately, do you think Dogtooth would exist if all of those friendships hadn't?
No, Doctors wouldn't exist without them.
Big question.
It would be completely different. I have made music in isolation before. A lot of the music I made over lockdown, some fun stuff just to get me. But you can feel the isolation in it. It's like me against the world. It's no longer me against the world in the same way. And that's nice. And I think Doctors is about that. And that was so beautiful to watch you read that. Well done. Yeah. It means the world, because they are the world that the utopia I try and truly feel and communicate with and be around in real life is the world I then make, that like Dogtooth is the joy in. That's the joy in Dogtooth. Like the world is scary, but here's pockets of like real beauty and like this for you. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy this.
And moving on from like the deeper stuff, I just wanted to touch on your performance at White Hotel. That was really fun, and it was such a pleasure to be there. And I just wanted to ask you, like, how did you enjoy it? Like, did you have fun?
I had a great time. I love that place. Shout out the White Hotel.
Real.
I do love them.
She's a blessing.
Yes, the White Hotel is a problematic family member. That's how I feel about that space.
Like her.
Yeah, truly.
She's a problematic
sure, but like we love her. You know, the auntie that like sometimes brings
The hot aunt.
gifts, but like would ask you for drugs. You know what I mean? Like,
But
that.
she smells good.
And she smells great.
I mean, I don't know if the White Hotel smells great, but the aunt definitely does.
Yeah, no, the vibe of the aunt. The vibe of the White Hotel is an aunt that smells great, but comes with problems. But we love her dearly. And so, yeah,
had a great time?
It was great. I felt like I was swimming. All my friends were there. You've been to a couple White Hotel ones now. Which one's your favorite? You were at Smooch and you were at last year.
True,
Yeah.
actually. Well, I feel like they were very different in their own right. Like, I really do. I feel like Smooch was just fire. It was like one of the most professional and profound things I've ever seen be performed there. But then performing as LINTD and a little bit more independently.
Actually, keep going. We'll use these.
I think they're pulling through.
Yeah, go on.
I feel like just you with the angel wings and just performing and it being so like raw and so yourself was such a beautiful thing to have the pleasure of seeing as well. It was really nice. It was so good.
Thank you.
It was amazing.
Hooray.
And trying to reach a conclusion, because I could honestly yap on forever. So in regards to new music,
You're doing great.
funeral rites.
Yeah, funeral rites on planet Saturn.
On planet or
On planet Saturn.
Okay.
No dogs, no blacks, no Irish.
Her?
Inscribed on the gates of hell. That's the line.
Really?
Yeah,
I love that.
All
Is that what
dogs.
it is?
Yeah. All blacks, all Irish go to heaven.
That is fire.
Facts. That's
That is
actually
facts.
something I was told. I dare say you. God said all blacks go to heaven to me. That's how I feel. and that's
so
I think
beautiful.
it's facts. And I think all dogs
You hit my
facts.
heart.
Yeah. Amen.
No, I wanted to talk about, again, like, one thing that I think I really applaud you for is like the professional extent of your music, but also the visual elements that complement that and that you kind of accompany it by, that you put out there. And I just wanted to talk real quick before we run out of time about the feature film that you directed yourself with the work of your friends. And well, tell me about the dog mask, tell me about everything.
So a couple years ago now, in 2024, I got Arts Council funding to make the movie Funeral Rites on Planet Saturn to accompany my music. To make the music as well, but I mostly use it to make, because I was already making the music. I would have done it without any money. But I wanted to create a visual world to pair with it, because it was very visual when I was writing, and like the physical emotive experience was very visual to me. So I just did that. And it's a film, a world, a story about Black grief, and the consequences therein, but also the feeling within it, and the kind of tone of what leads to it before. And that's what my next album is about, because it's the trilogy: Smooch, Dogtooth, and now Funeral Rites on Planet Saturn.
Fire.
It is the end of this trilogy about Black utopia and the impossibility, and like the how hard it is, but then how beautiful it can be, and then how easily it can disappear. And Funeral Rites is the kind of conclusion of this passage, because it is about the Dogtooth truly is about the death and the violence and the pleasure and the carnal, and Funeral Rites is almost the reward. So the dog mask, dogs are all over the record and my work, dogs and cats, but cats will come later. That will be for the baddies. That's the next phase. But the dogs are a creature in the Funeral Rites world, the Black Impossible world, that represent God in some way.
I love that
they're
so
these
much.
like kind of embodied creatures, and so there's literally, you finally get to meet the eponymous dog in all my work, and Funeral Rites, shaped as a beautiful mask by Kayami Russell.
Beautiful.
Shout out, guy.
I love it. Yeah, I put the track from that, Mr. Freeze, feels like a quiet arrival rather than an announcement.
Yeah.
That's full-bodied, warm, but also restrained, like something that survived. I just put, what place were you writing from when this sound emerged? And this release feels made for people to sit with visually as well as sonically, almost like a gift for family who have stayed. Was that sense of offering intentional as of you right now?
So I actually made Mr. Freeze and the whole of Funeral Rites before Dogtooth.
Really?
The whole of it. I started
love
writing Funeral Rites around when Smooch was happening. And Mr. Freeze was the first one I had the ideas and I'd been writing them in my head, but Mr. Freeze was the first one I recorded, worked on, and then finished repeat.
Yeah, I love
Literally
it.
in
I
his
really
house.
like that song.
Thank you. And it's the last song on the album because it is the end point. It's the Mr. Freeze is almost the thesis statement for the whole Black Impossible piece. The sonically and visually, yeah. It's where we're all heading. And that's the journey.
I love that. I love the journey. I can record the conclusion separate.
Yeah, conclude us now and however you want to.
Well,
However you feel.
so in regards to conclusion, I put that ultimately LINTD's creations demonstrate that horror does not require monsters, jump scares, or explicit violence to be effective. It insists that the most terrifying realities are those already embedded in everyday life. The repetition of phrases, the fragmentation of narrative, and the oscillation between numbness and intensity reflects a psyche shaped by prolonged exposure to emotional and social instability. These techniques echo the way historical trauma continues to reverberate, not only through memory, but through feeling, behaviour, and self-perception. However, where your work diverges is in its insistence on survival through relation and intimacy. Friends, lovers, and chosen family recur as anchors, figures who counterbalance the bleakness and offer moments of warmth within an otherwise cold and emotional landscape. This mirrors importance of other collective remembrances such as texts as Song and Feeding the Ghosts, where bearing witness becomes an act of resistance. In LINTD's music, acknowledgement itself becomes salvational, to name pain, to recognise love, and to document those who intervened as moments of collapse. By confronting nihilism without succumbing entirely to it, you reframe horror as a diagnostic tool rather as an endpoint. Your music does not deny the persistence of harm, but it refuses to let it remain examined or unchallenged. In this case, your work participates in a broader cultural project, one that a good Jordan Peele fan will be familiar with, exposing the contradictions of modern life, dismantling the illusion that progress has eradicated violence, and asserting that clarity, however painful, can still generate connection, meaning, and the possibility of care, and ultimately love. The final question was, does an ending ever feel like an ending to you, or more like a continuation of another form?
Definitely a continuation. I love you so much. Thank you.
Thank
that was
you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. So speaking of endpoints, this is the end of our freezing warm conversation, one that's moved gently through cold and through clarity and through survival and memory and the quiet ways that love remains alive. What has lingered throughout seems not simply the darkness that your work confronts, but love interlaced throughout it. The friends' names, the moments held, the heat preserved against the cold. And in sitting with these songs and with you here, it becomes clear that your music does not romanticize pain, but it transforms it into something shared and something human. If there is a conclusion here, it feels less like closure but more like rest. I'm not sure we will ever receive closure, but a pause before motion resumes, carrying forward the fact that even in the coolest climate, connection endures, and in LINTD especially. Thank you for listening.
And that's that on that. That's that on that. You know what I mean?
That on that.
February 13th, album release.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th again.
Years ago.
Dogtooth was released Friday on 13th, June 13th.
Really?
I know.
I love that.
Serendipity.
It's my favourite day of the year.
Isn't it just the best?
It's the best day.
It's normally so full of joy for me.
Friday the 13th.
We'll continue that tradition.
Friday 13th of June.
Shout out who? Whose birthday?
My brother.
Shout out your brother.
Shout out
Legend.
brother.
Legend.
Happy birthday.
February 27th, come see me live at St. Margaret's Church. Liz will be there.
That is going to be a blessing. I'm there.
Looking beautiful, feeling beautiful, adding to a tapestry.
We're adding to the tapestry.
And I will be there doing my very best to do the same. This has been an incredible experience. Thank you so much, Liz.
Thank you. I had the best time.
I'm gonna go do some dancing now.
Yay.
Bye. Thank you,
you.
Lily.
Thanks, Lily. We
Love you.
you.
Special thanks to Sam as well.
Thank you,
Helping out with
Sam.
Tech.
Yeah.
What a ledge. Bye.